The Walking Dead is a game developed by Telltale and Skybound, and is based on a comic made by the same people who made Invincible. This masterclass of a game is consistently regarded as one of the saddest games to have ever been published. This claim is supported by the game's emotional storytelling and impactful choices. Now, The Walking Dead in its entirety is known for ditching the standard good guys win and bad guys lose narrative as a whole. It's extremely engaging due to characters always being at threat and anyone being up for grabs. And although a few characters have plot armor, they indefinitely lose someone or something and are shaped by the tragedy of it. There's too many shows that refuse to kill off characters, and that's the reason The Walking Dead is so popular, and also a huge factor on how it's still kicking all these years later. Now, when discussing the Walking Dead game, it's no different. The characters are at risk, it keeps you on your toes, and you're enticed for what occurs next. Season 1 portrays this formula perfectly, and is often the reason it's most people's favorite season in the entire series. However, not the same praise is given for Season 2. Many people believe that Season 2 had crazy plot armor, and honestly, I have to agree. The first scene that comes to mind was the shootout with the Russians. This scene had everyone and they daddy thinking Kenny done got offed, and for good reason. Literally, how the fuck did Clarence miss that wide open shot, bro? Shot almost as bad as Valentine, or somehow even worse than Rudy Gobert. But anyways, this scene screams plot armor, but honestly, I think this makes sense. In the last episode of Season 2, they wanted to go out with a bang, and honestly, well, they did. Even though Jane and Kenny die anyway, except in my playthrough, it definitely feels like plot armor, and like they were just keeping them alive to further provide shock value. Another moment that sticks out is gotta be when Carver didn't take Clem the first time he appeared. Even the first time I watched this scene unfold, I was baffled by the fact that Carver didn't take Clem, and I was even more dumbfounded that he decided to take her away anyway. Like, what was the point of doing that? I understand that he brought his group for backup, but clearly he had more power over her, and the knife scene makes it so apparent. And to this day, this still confuses me. Another thing I was actually reminded of was when I was making the intro card to this segment, and yeah, now that I think about it, how the hell did Clem survive that gunshot with no injury? When Arvo shot Clem, everybody thought it was over, but somehow this motherfucker Clem is just a demon and tanks that shit with no injury whatsoever. Clem is a plot armor god. We've seen characters get shot and how bad it can be. There's no way that Clem ate that bullet with no more than a red spot on her jacket. Editing Grippy here. So I decided to ask Reddit why this could be, and oh, wow. The last thing I will say about this reason on why you shouldn't like The Walking Dead Season 2, or more necessarily why people didn't like Season 2, is that Season 4 is literally the king of plot armor. While I was researching people's opinions on the Season 2 The Walking Dead, I searched up Season 2 The Walking Dead game plot armor, and shockingly enough, AI was refuting Season 4's plot armor. If that doesn't show how much more plot armor is in Season 4 than Season 2, I don't know what will. So in that regard, I'll give this reason a 4 out of 10, just because everyone should have gotten slimed back in the shootout with the Russians. Off the gate, this is the best reason. Even though Season 2 is still crazy underrated, yes, it did succumb to plot holes, as well as mysteries. This is the only valid reason to have some beef with Season 2. I really thought that Season 3 was going to be used to explain or deep dive into these plot holes, but no. They decide to make it about this bum Javier and his porn-like family dynamic.
Is this nigga serious?
Shit, I'd be crying too, bro. Oh, and let's not forget about Bonnie, Kanye, and Arvo, the 3 biggest losers in all of gaming. How the fuck are you guys gonna basically leave Clem, Kenny, and Jane to die? You evil fucks. And we don't even know what happens to them. I hope that they make a DLC that's just a kill Arvo simulator. But plot holes are a reoccurring thing in The Walking Dead, and I believe that they kill off so many characters for 2 main reasons. First, to clear up the question, what happened to them? Second, to give the series depth. This is why Stranger Things ending was as bad as it was. The lack of characters getting killed left much to be desired, and because of it, the ending was extremely underwhelming. Now, in regards to Season 2, it seems like the devs forgot this rule, and many characters we just never see again, leaving the ending feeling puzzled and again, underwhelming. Like, what happened to Bonnie, Arvo, and Kanye? What happened to Kenny if you stay in the shelter? What happened to Krista's baby? Is Carlos a real doctor? What happened to Krista? Why would you save Jane? Anyways, I'll give the reason a 7 out of 10, simply because I'm still mad that we don't ever get to see Kenny again. I know that Kenny was supposed to die either way, and that they just cut it. However, I will say that there's a reason that they cut it. Back when Katja killed herself, Kenny says himself that killing yourself is just not the way. I don't see any reason for him to take his words back now, especially after all he's been through. We're also not about to sit here and act like Kenny isn't that guy. Picture this. You're watching Berlizzi play Season 2 of the Walking Dead game, and you're chilling with your homeboy, watching the gameplay unfold. However, as you continue to watch, the characters start speaking gibberish. It seems as your intelligence passes that of the characters on the screen. You're confused. You check to see if you had it on the wrong language, and oh, you did. But when you put it back to English, you realize that the characters are still speaking gibberish, including Berlizzi. That's what it's like to watch Season 2 of The Walking Dead. It's honestly hard to believe how everybody is dumb, irrational, and just makes the worst decisions. And even though I have watched it twice now, I cannot begin to understand these characters. Like, this old grown-ass woman is asking advice about her pregnancy from a 9-year-old. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And don't even get me started on Carver. This man Carver gotta be the dumbest villain in the entire series. Like, you gave these characters no reason to trust or respect him. If his manipulation was actually good, he would have been an amazing villain. But he just beats the shit out of Kenny, kills a random, and then expects everybody to be loyal to him. Meanwhile, Clem is talking mad shit to his face and he doesn't do a thing about it. Again, I understand he came for backup, but why didn't he take Clem while it was still a 1v1? He was literally smurfing and didn't even take advantage. And also, why was he scouting by himself? Like, the more I think about it, it just does not add up. And while we're talking about dumbasses, Carlos gotta be the biggest fraud in all of gaming. How can a doctor not tell the difference between a walker and dog bite? Like, what? Quick mini theory. I personally believe that he knew that it was a dog bite and just chose to kill Clem in the shed by letting the infection do it, so that his daughter wouldn't acknowledge Clem. Clementine as a protagonist makes adults look incompetent. That is the exact words I got when I searched The Walking Dead Season 2, The Characters Are Dumb. This couldn't be put together any better. Clem makes adults look retarded, and it's crazy that it's so apparent throughout the entire season. Like, Clem realizes this herself by saying, "Why is it always me?" I don't know, maybe because everybody else lacks a fucking brain. It is terrifying to see that adults are less built for this shit than a literal 9-year-old. Now, all things considered, I still firmly believe that Season 2 is a great season. After me and my homeboy finished watching Season 2, he said this, quote, "Season 2 was alright, it just wasn't as good as Season 1. And honestly, I completely agree. Although, to be fair, there is something mentally wrong with him, because he thought that Carly's death was more unfortunate than the goat Lee's. At the end of the day, to each their own, and their own is their opinion. But I will say that if you think that Season 3 is better than any other season, you are wrong. I'm dropping a Season 3 hate watch video next. But if you guys want a part 2, or have any other suggestions, please leave a comment down below. Thank you guys.